Fellow citizens of Bespin, it is my great pleasure and honor to be here today to host our first ever peace conference between both the Galactic Republic and the Confederacy of the Independent Systems. Here today, both sides will discuss the peace treaty and hopefully end this brutal conflict. Here today, we have the senator from Maldrude. Her reputation is strenuous but also proudest. May I introduce Senator Calrissian of the Maldrude sector?
Pleasure is all mine.
Now, may I introduce also from the Galactic Republic a man of a proud family who has come a long way in the Galactic Republic. May I introduce Senator Ralphon Tarkin of the Tarkin estate and family of Iriadu.
Thank you for having us, Governor.
Please,
It is
please
quite good to see you there, Senator.
Now, we may begin negotiations now between the two parties.
Now, it's quite good to see you, Senator Calzeria. It's an honor to meet someone from the esteemed Malrude sector.
Same to you, Senator Tarkin. Your family's reputation precedes you. Your cousin was promoted to Admiral, correct? Where is the other senator?
Well, you see, there was some other matters that he had to attend to, so he won't be able to attend. So I will be here in his place. As for my cousin, thank you. We had quite a lovely ceremony to honor his promotion.
Let's move on from the pleasantries, shall we? The time of the Confederacy is valuable compared to the idiocracy of the Republic Senate.
It wasn't us who withdrew from the Republic Senate, yet you call for peace now. Some of us in the Republic Senate want to see you separatists do nothing but capitulate.
Let's please get back on track and begin the negotiations.
Yes, let's.
Now then, let's begin. A lot has happened in this war.
I do agree, Senator. The battles on Christophsis continue up even to today. I say that should be one of our starting points for this conference.
Yes, the first subject is the current status of the ongoing battle there. Both sides continue to flip back and forth in the main square, where a lot of both of our forces have suffered considerable losses.
I believe it is an estimate of over 2,000 clones over the past year, thanks to the General Tuesday. There have been so many battles. I believe the last count was somewhere above 50. Quite a lot of death for a single planet.
To be exact.
Yes. Not only the clones, but the loss of life of different Tandoshans and other Mandalorian raiders, inflicting even more casualties.
Yes, I have heard about them. The Trandoshan infestation has been causing quite a problem for both sides.
Yes. I've seen the numbers of their attacks upon separatist forces.
And now, the Mandalorians. They're now taking turns raiding Christosis more than ever than before.
I believe our own clone troopers have had to face them more than once.
We can agree to focus on both threats should we reach a consensus here today. Plus,
Yes,
we will
they have-
remove the general from command and charge him with war crimes.
Yes, that would be good to work with each other on both fronts. Those Trandoshans have caused quite a stir across the planet. Now, which general were we talking about? I believe there were quite a few, weren't there, across Christos?
Yes, there have been. However, the one I am referring to is General Tuesday.
Yes, he's caused quite a stir across that planet. Damages that I don't think we've even finished calculating. Humanitarian crises across the planet. Refugees that cannot leave or in being slaughtered.
Indeed, he has caused quite some damage. Not intend. We did not intend for any civilians to be caught in the crossfire of General Tuesday's rage against a certain commander of the Republic. We will make
I don't
sure
think
to
anyone
provide the
could have
civilians
anticipated
with new homes and places to go, as well as assistance.
That's very kind of the Confederacy to try and help the civilians that they destroyed the lives of. Now, another topic. What about the mass amounts of ordnance and unexploded devices across the planet? We can't have children running around in minefields now, can we?
No, we cannot, Senator. I have seen the damage that bombing has done to the planet, and I am concerned, as well as you are, about the after effects of the war and the populations. If civilians were to step on a minefield left either by the Republic or by the Separatists, it would cause more unnecessary and unneeded bloodshed in an already lengthy and terrible conflict.
Yes. As long as the planet is deemed to remain under Republic control in the end, and the Separatists come help clean up the mess they caused, I believe we can be in full agreement upon the planet.
Yes, I agree on that. We will also send a group of B1s not as a security force, but as a work detail, helping repair buildings and make new ones.
You can't expect us to allow Separatist droids to just be let upon a Republic world like that. How can you just expect us to let armed droids built for war wander around the civilian populace?
That is a good question. Listen. It's part of the agreement, and if you want to keep it as a part of a Republic world, we need to make sure that we help with the efforts of restoring the planet. We don't want to cause any more bloodshed.
Yes, but what kind of interest is this? How can we expect it to be a Republic world if there's separatist droids bought from the Trade Federation wandering around the planet, doing who knows what, being controlled from your separatist command centers?
It is our best interest that we help restore the galaxy after a period of bloodshed, anger, terror, tragedy. Not to destroy it. We want to rebuild and reclaim. The clones have caused more damage than ever in this war. Have you seen the damage on Seleucami, Senator?
Yes, I have seen the damage on Seleucami, but it seems like a rough topic
Buildings
to
are
swap to a
destroyed.
different planet in need.
Buildings have been destroyed. Families ripped apart, Senator.
Yes, just as the separatists
All
annihilated families
attempts to
all across
rebuild halted.
Christophsis.
Due to this... Sorry. To the Republic.
Yes, and while we're on the topic of Seleucami, let's not mention that the separatists managed to form a traitor on myths who deployed their nuclear device, annihilating families, an entire city, in fact, in the name of the separatists.
I was not aware of this. We were not aware of this. We did not give any nuclear weapons to anyone.
And yet a traitor in our midst deployed the device in your name. How do they manage that if they aren't working for you?
Many people use our name to do whatever they want. And you should talk, Tarkin. I heard that the Republic Security Bureau has traitors of its own. Recently, the head of the department has been found guilty of charges of racketeering and corruption.
Yes, I did hear of a few times of this stuff, and I have been assured that the situation has been handled and the man arrested.
All right, Senators, I believe you both made your points thus far. I believe we should take a 20-minute recess and reconvene within the 20 minutes. Agreed?
Agreed, Governor.
Fair enough.
Good, good. We'll reconvene here in 20 minutes. Explore the city.
With all honesty there, Governor, with all these separatists around, I'm not going to be wandering much. There's too much danger with them around.
The Separatists have no jurisdiction here, not as well as the Republic. My security forces will...
Well, I guess I'll have to make do with the wandering around the local area.
Now, Senator, if should you wish to explore the city as well, you may.
I shall. Why not? After all, you are the ones who graciously offered us to be here.
Yes, and it was thanks to some of the members of the Separatist Senate that allowed you to be here.
And I'm very grateful for their work, Governor.
We are back with the second round of negotiations here, ladies and gentlemen, of Bespin. We are here today as a recap with Senator Calrissian of the Maldroots sector representing the Confederacy of the Independent Systems. And representing the Galactic Republic is Ranulf Riadu and the Galactic Republic. You may begin.
Yes. Alright. If I may begin this next session, I would like to transfer talks over to the prisoner of war and the transfer of our forces between each other.
Yes, I believe that would be a good place to start.
I would like to start with, we have hundreds of clones being held prisoner in decrepit conditions all across the Separatist worlds. And we would like them returned to the Republic as they are our property. Unharmed, of course.
Property of clones?
They were
Senator,
bought by the Republic, were they not?
Yes, they were created by the Republic. However, aren't they people themselves? They have their own free will.
They were
Don't they?
grown by the Republic and bought and sold to us. They are our property.
You and I may disagree on that. However, let's get back to the matter at hand. We're not just going to hand over your quote-unquote property without something in return.
Well, what is it that the Separatists would want to return our fierce warriors back to us?
I do believe that the Republic has several CIS officers within their custody currently that are very vital and important to our goals at hand. They are important individuals to us, and perhaps maybe we can exchange officers for clones.
Now, how would you account for your officers? We have many, many clones, hundreds across hundreds of worlds, and there's just a few of your officers. How do you intend to compensate us returning your officers with clone troopers?
I see. Oh, it's a numbers game. So,
It always is.
for example, for perhaps every CIS officer traded back to us, Unharmed, of course. 100 clones will be returned back to the Republic.
With thousands of clones still out there, you only intend to give us a few hundred for a person of such great worth to your confederacy? I would say
I
that
thought
we
you
would need
didn't
a
care much
much
for them,
larger number.
Senator Tarkin.
They may be our property, that does not mean we do not care. We do not care about... We do care about their lives, their ability to fight, and their return to us safe and unharmed.
I don't believe you for a second. You would not call individuals that you would care about your property if you truly cared about their ability to fight and their rights.
Just because they were bought and sold by the Republic does not mean we don't care about them being able to fight against your droid army that's ravaging the sector.
People are not property, Senator.
Anyways, I think a fair number for one of your officers would be a few hundred of our clones returned from your internment camps, whatever you call them.
Few hundred.
Yes, it's...
Approximately how many officers do you all have within your confines?
A few dozen officers. More than enough to return our fighting forces back to us.
So, perhaps for every CIS officer, we could bump up the number of clones. I believe 100 may be a bit too low. Plus, it would be easier on us and the system as a whole.
Of course, and the faster we return each other's forces to one another, the better off things will be.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Well, it would appear that we have finally come to an agreement. Shall we move on to the next topic on our agenda?
I agree. Let's,
alright.
back.
I believe it's written down on our notepads here. Next Senate project.
I don't see... Oh, here, the Shattered Worlds Project. Interesting name, Tarkin. What is this now?
Not every name is my idea. It's a sort of list of worlds that were rendered nigh unlivable across the galaxy, abandoned by Republic and Separatists alike. Some worlds of greatest note are those like Mimban, left desolate and abandoned by the Confederacy. Many civilian deaths, and littered with unexploded Separatist ordnance everywhere. Many taking the lives of remaining civilians that were not able to leave.
Yes. We tried to hide what's left. However, we We can't help anyone who doesn't support our cause as individuals.
And so you just, what, leave them there to die? Claim the planet for the Confederacy, and yet you just leave them there, high and dry, not even an attempt to bring them to your side, just to let them wither?
It's not my fault that the droids are programmed to destroy everything in their path.
And yet your government supports the increased production of these droids.
Those like Dooku and Newt Gunray support this.
Ah, yes. The so-called extremists of the Separatists, and yet still allowed to keep control within your own Senate.
I do not. I do not support either Newt Gunray's or Count Dooku's ideals. However, I support a galaxy liberated and free of corruption that has ravaged the Republic for many years. This idea is what I believe in.
Yes, the corrupt Republic
that's it.
Senate.
Yeah, I'm gonna
While
bring in the Berg jet.
the droids' armies are led by the one you buys the actions of, Count Dooku. A bit hypocritical, aren't we, Senator?
I am not in charge of any military function whatsoever.
Yes. That's what every
It's not
senator
my
says.
department.
Too bad we can't discuss this all day. We have more planets that have been annihilated, such as Cordon 3. Environmental damage off the scale. Invasive species everywhere. All the plant life being decimated. People being left without homes. Animals going extinct due to all of these changes.
Environmental
What do
damage
you say
is
about that?
to be concerned about. Yes.
You don't seem to care much about the people of Cordon 3 who also face this environmental change.
I do care about the people of Cordon 3.
What about the people of Metalorn? They were part of the Techno Union, and is now under the influence of hundreds of criminals. The Republic intervention has not seemed to stabilize the problem, and they've only gone stronger. I wonder how.
We have tried to intervene in Metaloran. However, these so-called criminal groups that you are referring to, these Trandoshan gangsters that many of the army have been acquainted with in trying to weigh down the violence and the destruction. We have tried, but we have not been successful. Their grip on the planet is strong.
Yes, and so your forces pulled out, and when the Republic came in, they seemed to only get stronger. What a coincidence that when the Republic faced your old enemy, suddenly they grew in strength.
We are not affiliated with any of those groups.
Yes.
I suppose it's a situation that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Perhaps they don't like
And
you
so
for other
what?
reasons.
You send supplies to the enemy on that planet, such as
No,
the
do not send
Trandoshan
supplies of
gang
any
star,
type.
the gangster,
we have
sending
heard of
them
this
to deal with your
annoyance.
bigger enemy.
We have heard of this annoyance that is Gangstar, yes. However, we are not affiliated with him. However, the Republic, so-called Republic intervention of Metalorn has caused a significant amount of damage. Over 1 million credits.
That damage can be clearly seen as proper fighting between these gang-affiliated organizations, whatever they call themselves, and the proper Republic military response to try to weed them out and remove them from the planet.
Yes, however, I still believe that the damage should fall onto Republic hands for that.
And if we want to talk about damage of local populi and credit amounts, why don't we move on to one of your old topics, the planet of Seleucami?
Yes,
Nuclear
let's.
devices being detonated across the planet on major cities, destroying civilian and Republic bases and whatnot. All that infrastructure gone and irradiated beyond belief.
The destruction of Seleucami was terrible, heartbreaking.
And
However,
ran
you
by a
seemed
traitor in support of the Separatists.
We do not support any radicals within
And
our... Nothing of the sort. If someone
Yet
were to
they
use
all
the
seem
name
to
of the
support
CIS,
you.
that is their own decision. My people are peaceful. We have tried to maintain control of our world.
Yes,
Seems
we're
to be
all
the
quite
case.
peaceful. And yet we try, and then yet you call us corrupt and evil when we maintain our own worlds. And yet our government still does different actions that you disagree with.
Yet your government is in league with corporations that bribe, extort, and tax heavily its own citizens.
And organizations like the Techno Union and Banking Clan are not using their power to take advantage of your own citizens.
I will admit, there are those like Wat Tambor that are greedy within our government. We want to try to move past that. To charge them with trying to corrupt our beliefs in our newfound government.
Yes, and what has happened in the years of this war? They still stand aside in our ranks, causing this terribleness, allowing more war while they fill their pockets. And yet you call us hypocrites when you do the exact same thing.
And yet, you are one to talk. Your family knows that quite well. Calling
My
us an
family
Ariadu.
is none of this meeting's concern.
It's true. I know your family past, though. I've looked at them. For the Republic to be sending their best negotiator, and it being you, Senator, it made me question things from the beginning.
As soon as I get in here, I better not see a ton of.
Yes, and My family is such a concern for this meeting after serving long before the clone armies and planetary and military defense forces, serving and protecting different worlds from gangsters, and yet we're so evil, protecting the trade lanes, planets, and everything else.
After you colonize the planets.
All right,
What else
senators.
do-
I believe we can stop here for a moment and have another recess. We will reconvene in 30 minutes, if that's both of you can agree on.
Fine. I'll be in my chambers.
As you were, Senator Tarkin.
Water.
Senator
See.
Carizia.
Calzeria, Governor.
My apologies.
Of course.
No one's paying anything.
Alright. So we haven't explored to yet.
Broadcast will return after these short messages.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in the third round of peace negotiations between the Galactic Republic and the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Here we have Senator Calrizia of the Maldrude sector.
It's good to see
And
you again,
then-
Governor.
Now we have Senator Ranulf Tarkin of the Galactic Republic and of the Iriadu Tarkin family estate.
Yes, well, good to see you, Governor.
Now, we may begin the third round of peace negotiations.
If I may start the discussion, I'd like to bring up the use of, back to one of our old topics, the use of nuclear weapons by both
Yes.
sides during this
Nuclear weapons.
this war. I would like to propose an sort of armistice, a de-escalation, demilitarization, if you will. I'd like us to both parties, of course, reduce our use of nuclear weapons to preferably none, especially against civilized worlds and civilian populations.
Against any world, any population, Senator.
I said,
We have both seen the
yes.
destruction that nuclear ordnance can wage on people, planets. It's
The
devastating.
loss of life has been astonishing. So many dead in an instant across so many worlds. And the amount of third-party factions that have been using them as well. The amount of civilian deaths, not to mention the amount of resources that both parties have lost due to these actions. Entire planets are radiated where no one else can live or even work on the worlds anymore.
Due to the radiation and cities crumble to the ground. It's terrible.
It would appear that both of us can form an agreement, no matter what else comes out of this meeting, that weapons this destructive to the world after their use must be eliminated from use, of course.
I wholeheartedly agree with you on that, Senator. I agree.
Then at least something can be done.
Alright. We have agreed on, I presume, banning these nuclear armaments, weapons. I hope at least.
Yes.
The
if
next subject
nothing
to talk
else.
about. Yes, if nothing else. If nothing else. Next subject I believe that we should be talking about is the worlds that have come under occupation. Whether they are all worlds that we have occupied, or the Republic occupying worlds.
I presume
Certain
you
worlds
have
under
a list of them based on.
Of course I do have a list. Here is the list. Under CIS occupation, vital for the Republic, we have Nukov. This world was seized due to its massive amounts of farmland. Probably. You know. You know how important this world is to many people. We also have Ord Mantell
Now
and
hold on.
Druson.
Are you demanding that we just hand these plants back over to the Confederacy? Like New Cove?
I'm not demanding anything. I'm not demanding anything yet. I'm just stating
Well, you better not
what worlds
be.
there are.
It would be impossible for such a planet, such a vital planet to the massive Republic, such a large food provider for all of our citizens, to just be handed over to a different group, a much smaller faction of the galaxy, when we have so many starving mouths to feed, and it is such a vital resource for them.
I do not believe that we also do not have starving mouths to feed as well.
I believe you do not have as many mouths to feed.
It may be the case, but... It may be the case, but... This world's importance... Food shortages within the Confederacy have dropped significantly ever since. This world is important and vital. Whether or not it stays under our control, which I hope it will, under our jurisdiction, or within the hands of the Republic.
I can assure you the Republic will maintain control of such a vital world. But
I see we're not going to
presume you
agree
have
on this
other
anytime soon.
planets on your list.
Ord Mantell. You also have Ord Mantell. It's incredibly important to strengthening our resources.
Ord
Admiral Trench was
Mantell.
in charge of that operation, actually. Capturing Republic ordnance and a significant amount of ammunition for the droid army. And the local garrison there. I assume those men are
Another
important to
planet
you.
that you would know the Republic cannot allow the Confederacy to maintain control over. A planet attacked by your own, and diabolical, I might say, Admiral Trench. Killing many a clone trooper, as well as hurting a few of the civilian populi to take control of those important ordnance factories. Now, why would the Republic ever allow the Separatists to maintain control of such a world?
Because the war is not going in our favor. Your favor. We need every advantage that we can get.
And you don't think we need those vital ordnance supplies? You don't think our own troopers who fought to defend that factory in the first place and lost their lives don't deserve it?
Those valiant, brave soldiers that you called your property earlier? You are flip-flopping
They might
between
be
whether they are
property,
important
but they are still
human
soldiers
lives
for
or
the
your
Republic
property.
who fought bravely. They are still
You
soldiers
cannot
who
just
fought for the
say
Republic in a
that
brave manner.
Your soldiers are property to you. Are they vital lives? Or are they just some plaything for the Republic to dispose of when they see fit?
They're less of a plaything than your droid armies that you send in the millions just to die and kill actual lives.
You don't want to send our civilians to war.
And yet you send your droids to kill other world civilians.
I believe we can come to a consensus about Nukov. We will trade you the prisoners that we captured on Ord Mantell in exchange for having a joint occupation on Nukov.
I'll have to bring such an idea up to the Greater Senate. But there is it does sound like a promising idea. Do you have any other worlds on that list?
Yes. There's Rusan, Beam, Eshkit, Quito, currently now in battle
Rusan?
between the Republic and the Confederacy,
That
but
is... Hold on there, Senator. Rusan. That is a vital world, a vital shipyard world for the repair and construction of new Republic ships, as well as the repair of those war-torn and damaged by your forces. Just because you managed to take control of it for the time being doesn't mean we'll just let you have such a vital place.
don't you already have Kuwait, Senator?
Kuwait is only so large, and with so many tasks at hand, we need another world so vital. And we cannot just allow the world of Rusan to be taken. And not to mention its cultural influence upon the Republic. How many great deeds came from that world that designed the Republic into what it is now?
The shipyards took significant damage during our invasion. We didn't have the proper repair equipment to repair it.
And you think we did in that sector? You expect our ships to limp their way all the way back to Kuwait just to get repaired and sent back out light years and light years away, parsecs upon parsecs?
Isn't there something known as a hyperdrive? You can jump
Yeah,
between
so what
places
if
and
ships that
things
have
quite
the
easily.
hyperdrives damaged in battle?
Wouldn't they be towed along? Like,
And what of your great separatist army, navies, past ships that annihilated entire fleets. Perhaps you remember the subjugator class of war machines in your fleet, annihilating our fleets in a single attack, sending everyone to their graves where we had nowhere to
The
nowhere to repair
subjugator
them.
was approved by Count Dooku. I do not approve such weaponry.
So Count
fact-
Dooku has so much control over your everything. He's allowed to hypocritically lead your senate and sell away the souls of your citizens to corporations and throw your droid army at civilians and destroy lives everywhere he pleases.
There are multiple senators within our government. Votes are taken, yes. And just because one senator does one thing doesn't mean that I would agree, or we may have all various different ideas, but we are here for create a better galaxy, a better world. That's why we separated. We were tired of the corruption.
And yet you create corruption of your own.
Have nothing to do with it.
Yet you support your own new form of corrupt government.
Hot calling the kettle black, huh? Fine. What about... There's also Erkid, Aikido, Kamas. And I'm sure you have your own list too, Senator Tarkin. Go ahead.
Just more players. Well, I'll have you know, Madam Senator, I have my own decent-sized list of worlds for the Republic that are now occupied by your own forces that that you failed to bring up. Antar, one of the many gas giants, held by the CIS for quite a while, and now a strategic point for the Republic.
The Separatists need that fuel from their planet to help supply the homes that we're going to help rebuild. We need those resources.
And what of the Republic's citizens who also need that vital fuel?
Doesn't the Republic have enough money in its coffers?
Doesn't the Separatists, with the banking clan at your foot?
How dare you? What about any other worlds you have? Sure,
Why
you've
don't
got
we bring up
plenty.
Contrum?
Sure, let's bring up
a
Contrum,
vital
shall we?
military production plant, taken over by the Separatists for your new line of elite B1s. Or so you
Yes.
call them, elite, and the vital point upon the Perlemian trade route.
Yes, the Perlemian trade route. Contrum is important to us. And any other planets?
Why don't we talk about Telos?
Tell us.
It's been a very vital part of the
heaven,
Republic
what is
since
going
the
on?
ancient Jedi civil wars. Some of the places were
Or-
being built before your separatist forces decided to invade, causing more damage to such a historic world.
Is that all you want of that world? The only reason we took Telos is because of the valuable resources on the world and the commerce.
So we're just going
Nothing
to
to
forget
do with
about
any
his
historical significance.
Nothing but a commodity to the separatists, is it?
It's not a commodity. The Jedi Civil War ended thousands of years ago, Senator. Why are you
How
bringing
could
this
it
up now?
not be? How could it not be significant to the world now? A civil war that, like the one we are currently in, one that can the history of our people, the history of the entire galaxy on a single planet. How can such an audacious event not be memorialized and kept safe?
That planet it has survived multiple wars. Jedi Civil War, the Empire, Great Galactic War, the rise of the Eternal Empire. Why is this world so important now? You could go to a various number of worlds in the galaxy, Senator, and say, oh, because of this historical purpose event that happened, I don't know, 2,000 years ago. Then that will be enough for you to take it? Talking about how worlds
This
become
world
commodities?
has always been under the Republic. It has been a foothold for our history, for what the destruction that was upon that world during the Civil War. How can we not leave it under the Republic as a tiding of what could happen if we let hostile forces attack our worlds with no retaliation?
Tarkin, I believe we are out of time for this round of negotiations. We will reconvene in another 25 minutes, should you both desire.
25 minutes will
If
be
you
just
say
enough
so,
time.
Governor. If you say so.
Now then, everyone, please stay tuned for possibly the last round of negotiations. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back at you again with the next round of peace negotiations between both the Republic and the Confederacy. Let us begin now with Senator Calrissian. And we have from Eriadu, Roundfold Tarkin. Alrighty, let us begin now with the next bit of negotiations, shall we? Grant, Mr.
Yes.
Tarkin.
Let's.
With all due respect, Governor, I believe this conference has been nothing but a farce. Nothing but a farce, I say. The only viable communication we've had is about the nuclear weapons during our last round of so-called negotiations. And the only thing we could agree upon is that they cause too much destruction and are not economically viable. Nothing more. It doesn't seem like our sides will ever agree upon anything to end this war.
I agreed with you on the transfer of prisoners. So, that's one thing we all agreed on.
Yes, but how much can I trust the word of the Confederacy to actually keep their end of the bargain?
Make sure they keep that bargain. And I hope on your side, you make sure yours keeps the same. Now then, Tarkin, The Confederacy wants to offer peace with the Republic in exchange for a few agreements if you're willing to listen.
I believe that we have talked about these agreements enough. We have all of our topics have led one way or another. Sure, we may get our clone troopers back, but then while we're busy with the transfer, the Confederacy will just take our worlds again and again. We couldn't even discuss how to properly return planets that the CIA stole from the Republic in a peaceful manner.
Stole?
How will we ever agree on anything if we can't even decide on the fates of a few worlds?
Well, let me bring up my terms. We wish to remain an independent state from the Republic. However, that doesn't mean don't want to root out the radicals. We will root out the radicals within our government to pursue our passion of peace. All POWs will be returned to the Republic, as well as recently claimed worlds. We will also offer reparations to those worlds
Senator,
as well.
I
In
demand the full
addition, Senator-
I demand that the... What is it, Trooper?
Excuse me, this is a private meeting.
We are in the middle of negotiations. What?
What?
Your embalmed senator has been shot and killed. We must take you off-world for your own safety, sir.
If we must...
Not the only one who has had
But
an
what
assassination
about the peace
attempt today.
negotiations?
These negotiations would never anything but a farce. The Confederacy would have never honored any of the deals it made, just with every other round of negotiations.
Get the
Lead the way,
security
Trooper.
ready.
Yes, Senator.
I must alert the guard.
Go, alert the guards.
Yeah, it's one of the two troopers. One of the two of the.
We at Channel 5 would like to thank you for watching our feature-length presentation.